Captured German medical officers later described their astonishment at the scale. One Wehrmacht surgeon, recorded in Allied intelligence summaries, noted that American hospitals functioned as if far from war, with reliable lighting, sterilized instruments, and uninterrupted supplies. German intelligence reports from Italy and Normandy repeatedly mentioned the same detail. The wounded Americans seemed confident they would survive. That confidence itself was unsettling. The recurring symbol within these hospitals was blood, measured, stored, transported, and replaced. Blood not spilled uselessly into the soil, but collected, labeled, and returned through clear tubing into another human body. For American medicine, blood became a symbol of organized compassion, proof that industrial capacity could serve life even amid mechanized death. German observers, accustomed to scarcity, understood what this meant. Where Germany rationed, America replenished. Statistics reinforced the impression. By mid-1944, U.S. Army Medical Services receiving approximately 96% of wounded soldiers who reached aid stations alive, a survival rate unprecedented in military history. In World War I, the rate had been closer to 80%. Improvements in shock treatment, antibiotics, and surgical speed transformed outcomes. An American soldier wounded in Normandy had a better chance of survival than a civilian injured in many European cities under bombardment. This efficiency reshaped expectations on both sides. American soldiers fought with the knowledge that injury did not automatically mean death or abandonment. German commanders recognized the strategic implications. A wounded American often returned to duty. A wounded German frequently did not. The battlefield equation shifted subtly but decisively. Firepower mattered, but so did recovery. Documents captured after the Normandy breakout revealed German concern about American material superiority extending into medical services. One staff assessment noted that U.S. divisions could sustain losses that would cripple German units, not because of greater courage, but because of faster restoration of manpower. Medicine became force multiplication. Yet beyond numbers lay something more disorienting. American field hospitals treated enemy wounded under the same protocols. German prisoners received plasma, morphine, and surgery without interrogation or delay. This was not universal kindness. War remained brutal, but the policy was consistent. For German officers raised on ideological warfare and racial hierarchy, the sight of equal treatment challenged deeply ingrained beliefs. The enemy did not merely defeat, it healed. Over time, this experience altered perception. Some German medical personnel, once repatriated after the war, later wrote of American hospitals as their first encounter with a different kind of modernity, one where efficiency served preservation rather than exhaustion. The war had taught them destruction. American medicine demonstrated restoration. Not mercy alone, but systematized mercy. Blood remained the silent witness. Each transfusion represented an invisible supply chain stretching from American factories to training camps, from donor drives in small towns to refrigerated trucks crossing oceans. It was democracy rendered tangible, millions contributing anonymously so that one life might continue. German commanders understood supply lines. What unsettled them was the moral architecture behind this one. As the war ended, ruins dominated Europe. Cities lay broken, populations exhausted, ideologies discredited. Yet the memory of those hospitals lingered, not as isolated kindness, but as proof of capacity. The same nation that produced tanks and bombers also produced plasma, penicillin, and lighted operating tents in frozen fields. Power expressed itself not only through destruction, but through the refusal to waste human life. In retrospect, American field hospitals symbolized more than medical success. They embodied a belief that even in total war, life retained value measurable in effort, resources, and time. Blood flowed not endlessly outward, but deliberately back. For those who witnessed it from the other side, this was perhaps the most unsettling revelation of all, that abundance, when organized, could serve freedom as effectively as force. January 1944. Near the frozen hedgerows outside Anzio, Italy. Dawn arrives without color, only shades of gray. The air smells of damp earth, antiseptic, and burned cordite. In the half-light, canvas tents breathe faint clouds of steam as generators hum steadily, uninterrupted by shell fire. Stretchers arrive in measured rhythm, boots crunching on frost-hardened mud. A single sound repeats through the morning, the metallic click of a field surgical tray being set down again and again, precise, calm, unhurried. This moment mattered because by early 1944, the war in Europe had become a contest not only of firepower, but of endurance. Germany still possessed experienced officers, disciplined formations, and formidable defensive doctrine. Yet its medical system was stretched thin by years of total war, bombing, retreat, and resource collapse. The United States, newly industrialized for conflict, brought something unfamiliar to the European battlefield, a medical apparatus designed not merely to treat the wounded, but to return them rapidly to combat or safely home. For German commanders observing captured reports and interrogations, American field hospitals revealed a hidden dimension of power, logistical, humane, and relentless. German officers had long accepted battlefield medicine as a grim necessity. In their experience, frontline care was improvised, evacuation slow, and survival uncertain. Severe wounds often meant death or permanent removal from service. Medical units moved cautiously, frequently under-equipped, and dependent on overstretched supply lines. Pain was endured. Recovery was hoped for, not expected. War as they understood it was attrition, of bodies as much as ammunition. What they encountered in American field hospitals contradicted these assumptions. U.S. medical units operated with assembly line efficiency. Wounded soldiers were triaged within minutes, tagged, stabilized, and routed through a system designed for speed. Blood plasma was available in standardized units, mass-produced and refrigerated, an innovation refined by American researchers before the war. Penicillin, still scarce in Europe, was being produced in industrial quantities by the United States by late 1943. Mobile surgical hospitals operated close to the front, reducing evacuation times from days to hours.